Now that Jimmy has graduated, he is living on his own, working at a bank, and looking to take a grand adventure of a trip. He wants to tour Hong Kong for 2 weeks. At dinner, after graduation, he shared with me that he had a personal goal of visiting 30 countries by the time he's 30. He's about halfway there.
I got the site up now, and I'm looking at flights. It looks like a flight is about $1,200 round trip. We have about 8 months to plan, so we can get a decent price on tickets.
Okay, well, what about a hotel? How much should that run us?
Honestly, staying in hostels would save us a ton of money. I know that you don't like the idea, but it may be something to consider, especially since we won't be spending a lot of time in the room anyway.
Do you want us to be the new lead characters of the next Hostel movie?
That won't happen, Jen. People stay at youth hostels all the time. Let's think about this. It's about $400 for hostels and $1,800 if we use hotels. That's like $1,400. We can use that towards several cool tours, or maybe even some nice souvenirs to take home for our families. Okay, how about you take some extra time to think about it?
Okay, sounds good. What's next on the list?
Next up is payments. Are you still okay with paying for the tickets and I will pay you back over the next few months?
Yeah, that's totally fine. I can just put it on my credit card and pay on it as you pay me back.
Okay, so with that being said, here's kind of what I'm thinking. I looked up the price of hostels and they will cost about $45 per night. Add that up over the 9 days and it's about $450. If you want to do the hotels, that number goes up like triples. I put in about $300 for transportation. That should cover any car, train, or bus rides we need. I figured in about $500 for a few tours, and I know we want to visit Disneyland Hong Kong, yes. Do you think $50 a day for food will be enough? I figured $500 for 10 days. I also added in $250 for any extra costs, like a souvenir something or other. So outside of the plane, it looks like we can do the trip for about $2,000 each. See how that hotel hostel decision is pretty important? It adds about $1,000 to each of our budgets if we go with the hotels.
Okay, yeah, I definitely see how that could give us a lot more wiggle room with recreational stuff. I agree, that's probably the better way to go.
Great, so I'm going to see how this all fits with my budget, and then we'll decide how to move forward.
Okay, great.
Let's take a look at his budget. What do you think? Will he be able to pay for this trip? You can see from his budget that he spends a little on entertainment such as movies and events. If he wanted to, he could cut back here. He also has about 2 subscription services that he pays for. With the payment to his girlfriend for the airline tickets, he ends the month with only $70 left. There is no room in that budget for any type of savings for emergencies. If he needs that, what would you cut? In 4 months, he will remove the $300 payment, and there are a few options. He can use that to create an emergency fund, which he currently doesn't include in his budget. If the emergency savings isn't that important, he can take that $300 and add it to his $250 that he is saving and not have to save for so long, or have more money for the trip. Is this a good plan?